Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to get straight, big, voluminous hair with kind of a really deep side part. So it should go pretty quickly, but I have done a video on this before, I believe, but I don't think I saved that one, and so I'm going to redo it because I've had requests for this. Okay, so my hair is simply just blow dried. I used some root lifter in it before I blow dried. Other than that, I've just put dry shampoo on it because I always put dry shampoo on my day one hair. It just adds a little bit of extra grit to my hair, a little extra grip, and also just is kind of preventative as far as oil goes. Sorry, I'm going to straighten this out here. Okay, so first things first, I always section my hair. And I'm going to work from like maybe the eyebrows down here. All right, and you can clip this up or just kind of ponytail it out of your way. So you have all this hair down here. Now, with these front pieces of hair and your iron, you're gonna start at the roots and you're gonna make like a C-shaped flat iron. Instead of just pulling this root as flat as you can, I wanna have more roundness to it, but I wanna have the roundness from the root through the mid shaft. I don't necessarily want to like curl the ends under. I still want it to be straight, but I want it to go out and then in. So grabbing this piece, drawing it out, and then bringing it slightly back in, you'll see that start to take shape. See what I'm talking about there? And then just ignore these little baby hairs that are growing back from having my last baby. And then just behind that, like about to the ears, same shape. And if it gets too curly, like that one did, just go back through and straighten it out. Same thing on this side, straight out, C shape. And I always like to take my hand and kind of like basically do the same motion that you do with your flat iron. As your hair is still hot, you can actually cool it, or shape it as it cools. So C-shaped, and then let it cool. If your ends get too curly, take them out. And then in the back, I honestly just pull them straight. My hair is long enough that it goes past, you know, that awkward spot where it flips out on your shoulders. So I just like to pull it all the way straight in the back. And since I blow dry my hair with a brush, it is really pretty naturally straight. I might pull the ends through. People always ask me too what kind of iron I use. Mine is an FHI. It's the iron I use at the salon too. I like them quite a bit, and they're pretty decently priced, I feel like. You can get a pretty good FHI on a good sale, probably for $80. So you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. The most important thing when it comes to flat irons, I think, is keeping ceramic plates instead of titanium. Titanium is actually it's really good at getting hot, put it that way. Almost too good. So you can really overdo it and fry your hair with titanium plates because they're almost too good at their job. So I go for ceramic, and I make sure that you can have a heat or temperature setting, or you can adjust your heat. Okay, next section is a little smaller, and I basically am going to clip up like what would be a really wide mohawk section and get that out of the way. Okay, now these next sections, hold on one second, I gotta grab my comb. Okay, so these next sections, we are going to put some back combing in to start building that base to have the volume all the way throughout, so we don't just end up with like, I mean, we've all seen it, right? Like super flat on the sides and super big bump in the back. No, we don't want that today. Some people want that. We don't want that. So this next section, what you're gonna do is, it's a little bit smaller of a section. Let me see if you can see that. About that much hair. You are going to hold it straight up towards the ceiling, not straight out, not down here, nowhere in between here, straight up towards the ceiling. And you're gonna back comb it in nice and tight. You don't want to rake the whole strand of hair. You want to just do like the last, couple inches away from the scalp. And you're gonna just pack it in there really tight and just kind of press it in. So if you see close up, all of that back combing is actually like right along the base, and that's what's going to help us hold that back combing out to the side. Then you need an aerosol hairspray that is going to be very light hold, and we're just going to spray that and let it dry. That's going to help us hold that back combing in even longer. Sorry, those baby hairs will drive me nuts. Okay, so we're going to work all the way around the head with that same teasing technique. So just simply holding the hair straight up towards the ceiling and just kind of doing like 5 back combing strokes per place. And then just that last one, just really anchor it in. Spray it, and you can leave it over, like leaving it falling in the opposite direction will help it hold a little bit more. One more back here, and then we'll do the other side. And this is just a broken rat tail comb, just something fine-toothed, very, very, very basic, nothing special. So again, not raking that whole strand of hair and locking it in tight, and then letting it cool. And you don't want to have a firm hold hairspray. I say this every time because I use this technique every time, whether I curl it or straighten it, but firm hold will make like super glue on your hair, because we're going to add a little bit of heat to that, and that's the secret. So light, flexible hold, and you don't want hot tools to ever touch wet products. I mean, unless it's like your blow dryer on your blowout cream, because you have to use, you know, your blow dryer on wet hair. But you should never use a curling iron or a flat iron on wet hairspray, wet hair, period, or anything else. So, okay, so we're gonna let these, we're gonna actually let them fall back down, but you can see already that that's going to put a good base of volume in my hair, if it'll stay like this. So, next is where you're gonna add a little heat to it. Now we're gonna do the exact same motion, this half circle or a C, backward C, whatever way you see it. How do you even take me seriously? But you're gonna start right at the root, and actually I kind of worry about the ends later. So you're gonna start right at the root, and you're gonna do that same C motion, and you're gonna still curl that hair. Okay, so catching that hair as it cools, and then you can kind of hold that shape. Okay, so again, just to show you, same C, and if you get too curly, just pull it straight at the ends. Okay, now you do the exact same thing all the way around, except for when I do the back pieces, I really do pull the ends straight because I don't want as much. But by focusing my flat iron over that back combed part and over that hairspray that's been sprayed, it just really helps hold that. I mean, you can feel that it's not crunchy, but it's definitely got some hold and some grip to it there. And it's gonna keep that back comb in longer. So those of you with that super fine, slippery hair or super thick hair that doesn't hold back combing very well, this is a good trick for you. So same thing. Now with back combing, like if you want it to be a little more voluminous through the back, hold your hair more straight up. So straight up, and take that iron and then readjust and pull it down. I don't worry about the ends, do the ends later, okay? Same thing on the side, back to that C. Again, holding that out to get that. And then just kind of going through and pulling on the ends a little bit. Okay, so far, so good, right? Okay, now this last part, you're gonna start in the back, grab your rat tail comb or whatever you're using to part your hair, and we are going to do the same teasing that we've been doing all the way around. So holding the hair straight up to the ceiling, tight, tight, back combing, a little spray. I hold this one up for a second because then I drop it and it still keeps that bump. Okay, taking the next section. And back combing. A little bit of spray. And there. And then you just kind of have to visualize where you start combing your hair back and pick from how far you're going to tease for. So everything that I'm teasing now is all the stuff that goes backwards. So I might just do one smaller section is all, because that's about midpoint, I guess, through my head. And then we'll let it sit like that. Okay, let me get this out of my way here. Okay, and then we're just gonna flip them forward so that we can literally do the same process, taking your flat iron, holding your hair straight up to the ceiling, starting at the roots. And I just like to do the roots first and then do the ends. See the lift still in there? And then we'll do this one. Roots, roots, ends. Okay. Now, last section here is thinner, so we can go a little bit faster, but same thing. And then I will go through at the very end and do all of the ends. Okay, so now that you have the back, leave it be. Now, the side, I took a paddle brush, or my wet brush, and I blow dried it all this way, okay? I blow dried it all this way, so when I look here, it's pretty flat, right? But when I go to part my hair and flip it over, I already have that like built-in volume just from blow drying it and parting it the opposite way while I'm blow drying. So whatever deep side part you're gonna go on, blow dry that direction. Okay, so pick all your hair and take it towards the side that you're going to part on. I'm parting on this side again. Okay, now you're gonna work from the side that you want most of your hair to fall on. So the heavier hair side, or the side opposite of your part. And you're gonna work that way now. So I usually leave like the very, front of my bangs out of this, but it's the same process. So grab a section, holding it up. Again, I take the very front bangs out. And I just see that coming in. Hairspray. And then probably one more here. I don't want to do it right on my part because I don't want to see the back combing. So I don't want to see any kind of fuzzies or anything like that. So if I'm going to part, probably here, this is going to be my last section. So half an inch or so. And I'm just going to put in some tight back combing with a little hairspray. All right. Now, like I said, leaving my bangs out of that, I'm going to go back through with my flat iron. Holding that hair up, making that C, and creating that shape. Okay, next section. This one got a little crazy. There we go. Straight up at the roots. C. section. And then I will work through all this back combing with my hands and a brand new product that I'm going to try today that I have not tried. So it's a little bit of an experiment, but I've tried it on some clients this week and I really do like it. So I'm excited to use it on my own hair and see how that goes. Okay, so now you have the side opposite of your part. And this one, again, you don't want to do a ton because you don't want to have a lot of back combing be seen, but you have to do a little. And I just dropped my brush. Okay, now pick your part. I'm gonna go right here. Okay, so the last section to work with then is your very front like bang area. Depending on how short they are, you know, if you wear them a little bit over your face or not, will make a difference. But just grab that like very front fringe area. And what we're gonna do, remember I'm parting here, is I'm gonna pull all of those bangs that way, and I'm gonna round it out that way too. So I am just lightly going over it because these hairs are very thin and fine, and mine are blonde, so they're extra fragile. So I don't wanna like squeeze my flat iron super tight, but I wanna start at the roots, and I wanna round it out. And I hold that shape while it cools, and I grab the very next section behind it. Okay, same thing. Now I don't want to combine these with the front section. I want them to have their own volume. So going behind, starting at the roots, and just holding that there. Okay. So now that we've kind of built in all of this volume, what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over. So you can do it with your hands, I usually do, and just kind of take my fingers and break through. I don't want to comb it out, but I do want to break it up so it doesn't look chunky. Okay, now once you have this here, this is the time that you want to grab your flat iron. Sorry, I gotta wash my hands. And perfect your ends a little bit. And then I'll show you one more trick. So I'm just gonna make sure I got all these back pieces. Okay, so then finishing touch wise, you're gonna go at a diagonal this way, okay? And it's just going to kind of perfect some of the back combing that you have in, but you kind of combed out with your fingers, but it's also going to keep this weft of hair from hanging in your face because nobody can work like this all day. So going at a diagonal, and I'll show you here. See, at a diagonal, you're just going to go in and just do a little back combing. Same thing right here. And then this is this fun new product that I have. Now this stuff, I'll have to spray these bangs out of my face in just a second, if I can stand it. Okay, so this stuff here, this is, I don't know if I can get that close enough, it's from Surface. It's called Airlift Volume Powder, and it's really cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but when you spray it, it's like a cloud, right? So you need to be at some distance away from your hair, and I do like holding it underneath, like where I want to scrunch the volume in. You hold it 6 to 12 inches away, Make sure the nozzle's at my hair. And you just kind of like fluff it in and it holds. And I might do like a piece underneath. And I'm telling you, this stuff will hold your back combing all day. So be committed to the back combing and the volume because it's staying in with this stuff. And I love it. From what I've used on clients, I guess I haven't used it on myself, but even my very fine haired clients that are hard to get volume on, they have had tremendous volume with it. Okay, so after I work that in, I'm just gonna take these bangs over again. Okay, so then I'm gonna take that light hold hairspray again, and I'm gonna go underneath my bangs, holding them out of the way. This will help pull them away from my face. But yet keep them over. And then I'm going to follow it with a stronger hairspray that will keep them all the way over. But doing that underneath part keeps the lift off my face. That makes sense. All right, I dropped my brush. Okay, and then I just lightly take, see these little fuzzies on the top? Lightly take the bristles of my brush through. And I finish with the texture spray just to give it like that chunky, piecey look. My hair was better at this when I got it cut like 2 months ago. But I'm really bad at getting my hair cut. So, but I like this dry texture spray because it's buildable, so you can spray it on a lot or a little, whatever you want, and have more or less to it. But it gives you some added texture without any weight. It's really nice. So that is basically it. You know, I'll kind of mess with it a little bit to keep those bangs over where I want them. But you can have big, straight hair. All right, well, I hope this helped somebody. Feel free, if you guys have any new ideas that you want to see, this was a good one to show again because I think that it's a one you can use at any length. So it was very universal. All right, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Happy Tuesday.